Hey Gideonstactical family, welcome back to another video. You know, we spend over 37,900 hours in a moving vehicle over the course of our life. So with that much time spent, it's only inevitable that a medical situation will arise either in or around our moving vehicle. So having a well-stocked medical kit on hand is very important, but there are limited options that give accessibility to the driver, and those that are on the market are often very large and cumbersome or quite expensive. Well, what we're going to be looking at today is an option that my family and I have been using for the last few months as we wrapped up a year of full-time RVing across America. And what we're going to be breaking down is the LA Police Gear large headrest medical pouch and show you the versatility, but also the accessibility that this medical pouch offers, not only to the driver, but to the passengers of a moving vehicle. And I'm going to also share with you a few basic supplies that should be in every medical kit that rides in a vehicle. All right, well, here we are, guys, again, different day, but we are moving back into our home in Denver after that year-long trip on the road, going coast to coast, border to border, and just having fun seeing America. And really diving into this medical kit, what really sets it apart out of the gate are the modular attachment points, not just for a vehicle, but mainly focused around a vehicle. So it's going to have this giant Velcro wall, two huge panels right there of hook and loop that can attach to all kinds of things. You could put this if you have felt or, you know, that type of cloth on your vehicle in certain points. You could even just adhere it to that if you would like. But what it comes with is not only a giant wall of PALS webbing, so that's one option, so you can boom, lock that into place. So you could absolutely not even use this for a vehicle and totally use it on some sort of LBE system, on your backpack, or if you have a PALS compatible panel already in your vehicle, you can just lash it to that. Now, the same idea still applies. You got that grab handle. It's gonna rip off, and obviously that MOLLE panel would still stay attached to whatever you had lashed it to. But what really makes it cool, and that I don't see with most other designs, is it comes with this giant strap of hook and loop. It's literally this long, made out of heavy duty nylon with hook and loop all the way around. So it's going to attach to any size headrest, but you can also wrap it around other large items as well, meaning that the driver is going to get accessibility and be able to access the medical kit. And I believe that's vital as many of us drive by ourselves. You know, even if you go a lot with the family, you as the driver need to get to it without having to unbuckle and rummage around or go back into the trunk. You know, having a medical kit in the trunk is better than nothing, but having it being able to be accessed without me getting access to it, without having to unbuckle is a game changer and just speeds up the process of being able to assess and deal with a medical situation when it arises. So pricing is very attractive to me as well. This thing is going to be $30 for the entire layout that we're seeing, as well as all the attachment points. That is very impressive. Now, I will have links for you guys in the description box below over to LA Police Gear, so you can check out this as well as all the other gear that they carry. And I will have a promo code for you guys as well for 10% off your purchase, not only for this pack. You could also, you know, pick up some medical supplies. It would go towards that, or anything else on their site. You're going to get that 10% off when you use that promo code in the description box below. So I appreciate them being willing to send this over to me so I can test it out, show you guys pros and cons and how it might work for a system for you guys. And them just being a regular sponsor here at the channel is a big benefit. Helps me make content like this for you guys and be able to share with you guys some different ideas on how to better keep your family safe and secure when you're on the road. So let's go ahead and go through dimensions, material, the layout, and then I'm going to hit those few items I believe are essential to have in your vehicle medical kit here at the end. But what we are looking at is 600 denier nylon, so good abrasion resistance. Been beaten up on the road, you know, for several months now, and showing very minimal wear. It's 10.5 by 8.5 by 3 inches deep. So this thing is nice and large. Again, that nice red grab handle that will rip it away from whatever it's attached to, and that just gives you a really good grab. It's high vis, so you know what you're grabbing and holding on to. Now, there are two zippers on either side right here with good red tassels. Now, they're not YKK, but they run super well, never been snagged, very smooth. And if you've been watching some of my other gear reviews of LA Police Gear zippers, even though they're no name, they seem to work really well and never had a snag or, you know, a derailing of the teeth. You have a nice identification wall there of Velcro. They do come in black and tan currently. Now, to open it, you have this big, huge flap right here that you can easily grab. You grab your red, and it zips open just like that. So there's the flap, there's the Velcro panel. So you don't need fine motor skills to open this, which is really important. Now, on the top here, what we have are some large elastic bands that I have some tourniquet setups. This is a cat tourniquet over here. There is large sleeves behind that with more elastic bands. You get 2 paracord style attachments so you can do medical tape, things like that. And then down here you have horizontal bands that you can carry smaller things like bandages, an Israeli bandage, as well as more tuckable pockets behind, more elastic bands behind. So lots of lashing options there with several different pockets that I can easily stock this thing out very well for how large it is. And then you have 2 mesh pockets down here that, you know, I have like my boo-boo kit for band-aids and things like that, and then the ointments, you know, eye drops, you know, new skin, some pills, antihistamines and things like that, painkillers, but then also like antibiotic, you know, the triple cream antibiotic stuff. So the only thing out of the entire build quality, it's all there except for this mesh just has like one little piece of string, you know, sewn in right there. So it doesn't feel super strong right there, and there's not a ton of retention. It would have been nicer to have elastic bands on the lips there. I might actually do some like duct tape over those lips, like high-vis duct tape, just to kind of reinforce that so they don't tear out or start to fray. So those pouches, though visible and kind of hold the less emergency things, it would have been nice just to have a little bit better quality around the edges and the lips of those 2 pockets. So now, as promised, what are those items that you should be putting in your vehicle medical kit? Now, as a disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. Do all these things at your own risk and know your equipment. Practice with them. There are plenty of either inexpensive or even free medical classes so you know how to better treat trauma victims, either yourself or someone else. You know, and in a vehicle, oftentimes, if you are going to be using this, it's either going to be a little scrape or a boo-boo, or it could be a very traumatic car accident. And so just know the equipment and the gear and do all of this at your own risk as you go through and begin to build this out. Now, the first one are medical shears. These things are very important for you to be able to remove clothing when there's an injury so you can assess how bad the situation is and then know what other items to use. If you don't have these, oftentimes it's very difficult to assess what injuries have occurred and how to treat them. Those shears are followed up by a SWAT T tourniquet. I've actually had to use this on a buddy of mine years ago to stop blood loss, and it absolutely worked. It's basically a giant rubber band that you can use in multiple ways, not only as a tourniquet to stop blood flow and stop an arterial bleed, but also when you don't tighten it down as tight, you can use it as a compress. And what I like about it and why I have it in my rotation along with more technical full-blown tourniquets like a cat tourniquet is the fact that these can also be used on children with small appendages as well as pets. These work well in those environments. I have a dog, I have little kids, so having this, whereas some of those other larger full-blown, you know, crank tourniquets like a cat don't always work on a pet, don't always work on your child, and they won't give the proper tension. This, it's literally crank it down and tighten it as tight as you can make it, like a rubber band. So that's why I like these, and I always recommend those to people, and obviously know what you're doing with them, but they're easy to use and they are much more versatile sometimes depending on the scenario than just a dedicated tourniquet. We follow that up with a coagulant of some kind, something that will stop the bleeding, cause your blood to start clotting quicker, because oftentimes in those emergency scenarios, particularly around a vehicle, it could be something like a major laceration or something like that, and it could be a life or death situation. There is Quick Clot, that is a great option, or Celox. Celox is more expensive, more high grade. Quick Clot will often work in a lot of scenarios, but Celox is the more premium of the two. So just do your research and depends on the budget as well. Maybe you can't afford Celox right out of the gate, because this bandage right here will usually run you over $30. This quick clot will run about $15. And finally, an Israeli bandage is great to have in your medical kit because it will not only add as a compress, but has an integrated bandage. So it's not only going to be able to put pressure on the wound, but absorb and help stop the bleeding that is occurring. So that combined and working together really helps in an emergency situation. So there are just some basic medical supplies I could recommend to you. There are many, many more that would help, and I encourage you guys to leave comments below if there's an item that you suggest. Many of these items that you can put inside this medical pouch, you can pick up over on LA Police Gear as well. And again, that promo code will go towards that. And they're a good source. They source their products well, so you know you're getting genuine medical products and not some sort of knockoff that's going to fail you in that emergency situation. So guys, there you have it. I hope that this video has been fun and entertaining, but also giving you some food for thought, giving you some ideas, and helped you consider, if you already have a medical kit, make sure that it's all laid out properly in your vehicle and easily accessible for you, the driver. And if you haven't done that yet, I really encourage you to consider looking not only at this pouch, some of these items, but get something that is in your vehicle. With the amount of hours that we're going to spend over our lifetime in that moving vehicle, it only makes sense to have medical supplies that will help stabilize an emergency situation until first responders can get there. So appreciate you guys so much. I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber here, throwing up content like this every single week. I invite you again to leave a comment, smash that like button, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.